to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is James Oliver Hacking the Third, or as my old boss at KB Toys used to call me, James O. Hacking the Turd. He would also say, Jim, if I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. But he was a great boss. He was a great boss. I had much fun at KB Toys at St. Louis Galleria. We would have water gun fights, tricky string fights. We would throw stuff at each other down the hall, down the aisle. It was right when Nintendos came out, so I got a great discount on my Nintendo. It was probably the best job that I ever had. I hope you all are having a good day. If that was my best job ever, my second best job ever was being an immigration lawyer. I love what we do. I love trying to help people. I've got some great stories that we could share about things that people are doing in the office. Some real great legal work being done. My wife, Amani, made a video today with Kent about her recent experiences at a asylum office near you. And there's just lots of good stuff going on. At the same time, we have to acknowledge the terrible events going on in the Middle East. Very complicated topic. I think there are a lot of people much smarter than me that are sharing on it. I'll just say that the loss of any life makes me very sad. I'm just going to say that for now. I'm not going to say much more other than to say that I'm very sad for the people that are going through what they're going through, the people that died. It's a very, very sad situation. I can't do much about that other than trying to help people who are coming to the United States or trying to stay here to avoid places of conflict. So with that being said, I'm going to get the show started and I'm going to go to Abdu's here. Let's see what Abdu has to say. Hello, Abdu.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you again for taking my call. I got a situation for a friend of mine that I'm going to tell you very briefly.
Okay.
This guy, let's say his name is Alex, that he's from Jordan. He finished his engineering degree from a public university in Jordan. He came to the US as an F1. He finishes a certificate, then he gets an OPT. And then his employer decides to sponsor him on H-1B. So his H-1B gets approved. He gets elected, he gets approved, and then now he is an H-1B worker.
Okay.
So at the same time, while he's working on H-1B, another employer B, has decided to sponsor him on EB3 visa, on EB3 to get his green card eventually. So he's under unskilled worker. As of so far, in that employer B, his LC was approved, his I-140 is approved, but he is unable to apply for the I-485 yet because he's waiting for the his visa bulletin. So he's waiting for the priority date to become current.
Okay.
So the question is, he's planning to go back to Jordan to get the stamp on his H-1B visa. And
Why is he doing that?
Because he wants to be able to travel back and forth, like getting the green card.
I'm sure he does, but what if he can't get back in? What happens to his job if he doesn't get to come back?
I think he's gonna be in trouble if he doesn't come back because his job doesn't allow him to work remotely at all. Like his nature of work doesn't allow him to work remotely, so he's gonna be stuck. But do you think by any chance the fact that he's now like applying for an I-140, which is like an immigrant petition, which they ask for in the DS-160 in the H-1B visa, that has anyone ever applied for an immigration benefit with the USCIS? So he has to say yes for sure.
Well, he's okay because H-1B is a dual intent degree, so that's okay. That's not the issue. The issue is, let's say I don't have my dice here, but let's say there's a 5% chance that this is how I've seen it go, Abdu. So Alex says, okay, I'm going to be really smart. I know that I'm going to be in Jordan for about 2 weeks.
Yes.
So I'm going to schedule my visa interview for the third day after I get to Jordan. So let's say I'm going to Jordan on November 1st. Or no, let's try it this way. I'm going to Jordan on October 1st, and I'm going to schedule my interview for October 10th, right?
Okay, yes.
And let's say that he schedules it, he leaves the United States, he lands in Jordan, and then all of a sudden a war breaks out between Israel and Palestine. And for whatever reason, the United States gets scared and they close the embassy in Jordan. or he goes to the interview and they say, you've been spending a lot of time in the United States. We have to do a background check on some things. We're going to put your case in administrative processing, and we'll let you know in the next couple of weeks what we're thinking. And then 3 weeks go by, 4 weeks go by, 5 weeks go by, and he's outside the United States with no visa stamp. And then what happens to his job? The employer says, this isn't the kind of job you can do remotely. Sorry, your job is over. Your H-1B is canceled. We're going to have to notify USCIS, and you're not going to be able to come back. What happens then?
He is stuck in Jordan.
Yeah, he's stuck in Jordan waiting for that I-140 immigrant visa to become available, right? And then he's also having to wait for an embassy appointment for said immigrant visa in Jordan. So I appreciate the desire to want to leave the United States and go see the world and visit family and all that stuff.
Yes.
I get that, but he's pretty darn close to getting a green card application out the door. And once that's on file, he can apply for advanced parole, and then he doesn't have to worry about a visa stamp at all. So my vote is, dude, you're so freaking close. Forget that visa stamp BS. Just suck it up. Wait another 8-9 months before you can get advanced parole off your green card, and then do that.
Got it. So from a State Department standpoint, if you think, does that I-140 impact the H-1B application, given that that is coming from EB3 unskilled worker, like in general?
Well, do the jobs match? Are they different jobs?
Two different jobs. Like the other job is unskilled worker, the EB3, visa.
What's the H-1B?
So the H-1B, he's a project manager because what he did in the U.S. was a certificate in business administration. He's a project manager in the H-1B.
I see what your question is now. Now you're wondering about the inconsistency between the two jobs.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a whole other thing that hurts. What's the unskilled labor job, and does he have some kind of relationship with that employer?
Well, the unskilled, he's gonna be like a worker, but
what does that mean? Worker? Everybody's a worker. I'm a worker. You're a worker. Everybody's a worker.
I mean, I don't know exactly what's the job itself, but he told me it's like an unskilled job, and it kind of requires some basic skills, just to do some entry-level job, and things very inconsistent with the job that he's doing with the H-1B.
Sounds squirrely to me.
So it could cause an issue, you're saying?
Yeah, it could cause an issue, and overall, the whole scheme seems sort of dumb.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Jim, I know I agree with you, but I think his problem was the H-1B employer wasn't willing to go forward with his green card. He said, I'm going to put you for another 3 years and then extend it for another 3 years, 6 years H-1B, and then you got to wait your luck with,
But there's a different way to solve that problem, and that is to start looking for an employer who will, in the same job area, in the same job, type.
Got it.
Going off and picking some unskilled labor job, I think they're going to see right through that, and they're especially going to see right through it at an embassy.
I see.
And the problem with the embassy is there's no way to appeal, there's no way to challenge it. He's sort of at their mercy.
Got it. Well, that could be another problem. Then I will give him your advice. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it.
See you, buddy. All right, our friend Rocio is here. Let's see what she has to say. Hello, Rocio.
Hello, Jim. I'm leaving work, so if you don't mind me walking.
I don't mind. We get that all the time around here.
Look at my crazy hair. How are you doing?
I'm good.
So I have a question for a friend. Say her name is Vanessa.
Okay.
So Vanessa, she's from Argentina too. She arrived under a K-1 visa in 2019. Her husband is a U.S. citizen. She has a conditional green card that was issued in 2021, and it expired November 2023. So she received a 48-month extension letter. She has a long relationship, and I'm reading because she texted me the situation, and I said I was going to ask you. She has a long relationship of 11 years with her husband, which they proved to the USCIS throughout the K-1 ROC process. Because here's the thing. They did removal of conditions jointly. I mean, it's still pending, but they split months after. So they believe in October this year had a crisis in their marriage, something being from time to time.
Rocio, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. So the last I heard is they filed jointly the 751, and she got a 2-year or the 4-year extension letter. After that, it was all broken up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, maybe stand still for just a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
So they filed together, split months after, and they've been living together all this time until the separation. And about September, October of this year, they had a crisis in their marriage, and they were living in different places while still communicating from time to time. So after splitting for some time, they realized that they wanted to be together and got back living under the same home. So there was like a temporary separation, and then they're back together. They never changed the address at the USCIS because they weren't sure if they really wanted a divorce or legal separation, since love was not the issue. They were having a crisis about family future goals. So here comes the two questions that she has. Since N400 under the 3-year rule implies living with your spouse for the period of 3 years, does that mean that they cannot apply for it this year? Because she would be eligible for N400 coming November, but because there was this temporary separation, she wants to know if that means that she cannot apply.
Anybody can apply. Anybody with a filing fee and the required days can apply. Whether she should apply is a different question. I don't know that I've declared this rule, but I'm pretty close to declaring this rule. And I would say that if at all during the 3 years there's been any problem with your marriage, you're probably better off waiting for the 5 years, because you're not going to give up the marriage. Your 751 is going to take a long time anyway. So why highlight the marriage 2 times when you only have to highlight it once? I think that I would probably strongly urge, not demand, but strongly urge they just wait and do it on the 5 years.
That's what I told her, because technically, I mean, there's very little difference between being a resident and being a citizen in terms of, you can continue to work. Of course, you cannot vote, and there are certain federal laws. I mean, you cannot apply for your family. Yeah. But other than that, I told her that she better be waiting for 5 years and forget about all the scrutiny that they're going to put, and then, just all the explanations. But I wanted to check with you. And here's the second question. If they wait for the 10-year green card approval instead of applying for N400, and they prepare for a potential interview, which kind of paperwork they may need to present to explain the gap in which they both stopped using the joint account and were living in different places? So I guess that she wants to know, is there a good way to explain the fact that they were living separately because they had separate joint account, and it seems that they stopped using the joint account because they were living in different places. So
when they filed the 751, were they living together or not living together?
Yes.
So after it was on file is when all hell broke loose.
Yeah. So they filed February of this year, and they separated temporarily September, October. So this is just very recent, but they're back together. It was a crisis. They're back together now. So
yeah, I think I would worry about it if the time comes. I think hopefully by then they'll have, 2 more years of good history living together and life together. I think that, if sometimes at 751s or even I-130s, the officer asks a question, which I think they should ask, or I would ask if I were them. And that is, since the time that you guys filed this application, or since the time you got married, have you had any nights where you slept apart because of family discord? Mm-hmm. They don't ask that question very often, but if they did, then I would tell them about it. But I don't think they need to prove up that part of the case. If 2 years from now or a year and a half from now, they have a 2 or 3 month time period where they lived apart, to me, that actually makes the case stronger, because they worked through some stuff. They were honest about it. If I'm the officer, I'm like, oh, well, if they're honest about that, then this whole thing's probably legit.
Yeah, and that's what I told her. But what sucks, I mean, I'm not a decision maker, I'm not a lawmaker, but what sucks about 751 is that there's no, if you divorce, which the route that she's going, but if you divorce, you need to wait for some time. So do you inform USCIS? Do you wait for the divorce decree? That's not her situation. But I'm saying 751s are kind of messy in that sense.
Yeah, but given the fact that they take so damn long now, you're going to have a good long chance to either file a new one by yourself or to amend the one that you filed. So I agree with you. It's messy and it's sort of
gray area.
Yeah, and fraught with danger, like lots of opportunities for making mistakes.
Right. Okay. So to wrap it up, do not apply for the N400 right now. Wait until the 5-year rule, and proceed with caution with the 751, and cross that bridge when they get there. I mean, if they ask you, you got to be honest. But if they don't, then that shouldn't be an issue. She's worried that that separation might ruin the green card process.
No, you heard me. I think it makes the case stronger.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Bye, Rocio. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye. All right. Let's see what Derek has to say. Hello, Derek. I like your hat. You're on mute.
Sorry. Hi, Jim.
No worries.
All right. So I found my I-130 last November, and I got approved like last week. And I got my NVC number and everything already. And then I paid for the NVC. And what is the next step from there? It's still processing.
Yeah. Have you filled out your DS-260?
No, it says still process for my money. They took it out like today.
Yeah. So in a couple of weeks, you'll get a notice that it's time to get working on your checklist, working on your documents, uploading your stuff, your affidavit of support, and all that stuff. But sounds like you're doing everything right.
Okay. So the affidavit, I didn't make as much in the past 5 years, but one of my friends, he works for a hospital. He's making like over 100K. I could use him.
Yeah, so you still have to do it yourself. You still have to file your affidavit of support, your supporting documents, your W-2s, proof of income for all 3 years, and then he's going to have to do one as well.
All right. Do I have to file I-485? My wife is abroad.
No. So you'll feel the DS-260 is like an electronic version of the I-130. That's what gets the immigrant visa processing. I-45s are only for people who are here in the United States.
Okay. So would it make it better if she's due on the 30th of this month? So her traveling to Rio will be like I don't know when will she travel? Maybe like 1 month or 2 months, or would it be?
So okay. So are you a U.S. citizen or a green card holder?
U.S. citizen.
So what you're telling me is your wife is pregnant and is supposed to have a baby in about a month?
The 30th this month.
So well, her interview won't be for 7, 8, 9, 10 months.
Oh, okay. I was because the priority date. That's why I did not know.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. The priority date you don't need to worry about because you're a U.S. citizen. So there's an unlimited number of visas available for you. Okay. But here's the thing, my friend. When the baby's born, you have to file an I-130 for the kid. Unless they're a U.S. citizen. They might be a U.S. citizen.
Well, the baby, I'm a citizen, so the baby's gonna be a citizen.
Have you lived in the United States for a long time?
I live here all my life.
Oh, you were born here?
Yeah, I was born here. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. So so when the kid's born, then you'll have to do a certificate of live birth abroad.
I heard about that CBR something. CBR.
Yeah, those are pretty easy. You don't need a lawyer for it. You'll just do that through the embassy. But yeah, once the baby's born, you'll be able to get that kid the passport long before her visa interview. So you're good.
Oh, okay. So if the baby's born, I could apply for that, and the baby will get his passport first. Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, those are pretty straightforward.
And so right now I got the NVC number and everything, and so it's gonna take like 6-7 months.
People in the comments will talk about how long it takes for. It'll probably take 4 or 5 months at the National Visa Center. Then once it's documented and qualified, then it's just a matter of waiting for an interview at the consulate in Rio. And people in the comments will have better idea about that than I will as far as how long that takes. But it's months.
Another question. I have a criminal background. Would that affect?
Well, as long as it's not a crime involving abuse or children,
it's a drug case, but I'm going to drug court, so I'm gonna get expunged in 2 years.
So it's pending right now.
It's pending, yeah.
Yeah, no, that shouldn't come up.
Okay, because I'm the petitioner. She's the
right. Yep, I got
it. Get me sweating right now.
Yeah, they might ask her about it at her interview, so you need to make sure she knows about it.
She knows.
Yeah.
She knows.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Derek. See you, buddy.
Good
Take
day.
care. Okay, bye. Alex is here. Let's see what Alex has to say. Hello, Alex.
Hi, hello.
How are you doing?
I have a question. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so my question is related to consular processing. I have been approved for the I-130 for within 11 months. Then the NVC process was done, like everything through the payment, all the way to the DQ. It was 1 month, and I have been DQ'd for since September 1st. And I'm waiting now since then for an interview at the embassy in Vienna. And I'm wondering, why is it taking so long? Because
That's
I've looked.
you're talking
Sorry?
you're talking 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I have a
not
feeling
that's
it's
not long.
gonna take.
That's not long.
That's not long. Okay, I mean, for
There's people watching the show who've been waiting a year or a year and a half.
yeah, but maybe those people come from Pakistan or from India, and then I can understand. But in here, for example, I'm in a Facebook group, and I constantly see people who are doing their consular processing in Germany or London or even Spain, and they get their interview letters within a couple of days, within a week or 2 weeks, and that's obviously frustrating, and I want to know, why is it taking so long now? Like, I have a feeling it's not going to take less than 4 months until I get the interview letter. if
Sure.
if anybody would
Whenever people
know.
whenever people ask me, I turn it back on them and I say, why, if you could guess, is there anything about your case that you're worried about or that you think they're worried about?
Me, no, not at all.
I don't know. Maybe they just got busy. Maybe the ambassador is coming to visit. I don't know. You never know. I mean, 5 weeks, it doesn't seem that terribly long to me.
I've looked on the website, and they're processing about 2 CR1 visas a month. And in some months, they don't process no visas.
Yeah. So maybe it's not
And
as
no
fast as.
CR1 visas. So,
Yeah. I think
and
you
it's
just, I think
been like that. It's been like that prior COVID and after COVID. So I don't know, if anybody in this group, in the chat, or who's watching and is from Austria, maybe can um, give me they share their experience, how long they waited, because I can't get anybody in all these Facebook groups. There's not a lot of people from Austria immigrating to the US, and I was hoping maybe I'm lucky here.
All right. Well, let's see
Yeah.
what happens. Maybe someone will have a comment. Thank you, Alex.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right. All right. She thought that people from Pakistan and India have to wait longer, and generally she's right, sad as that is. Ahmed is here. Hello, Ahmed.
Hello, Jim.
What's up, bud?
I'm gonna tell you my situation very quickly.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna ask my question. My dad is a U.S. citizen, right? He filed I-130 for me and my brother the last year, right? On the last on May, actually, they sent request for evidence on my brother case, right? And they didn't send to me request for evidence. After 1 month, the USCIS actually approved my case without sending me request for evidence, all right?
I think we
After
talked.
5 days.
Didn't we talk about this already?
What?
Have we talked before about this or no?
No, that's the
Okay.
first time.
Okay, so your brother got an RFE, you did not. Okay.
Yes, and after 1 month, the USCIS approved my case. Then, after 5 days, the USCIS sent my case to the Department of State. Then, the Department of State sent to me a notice of intent to revoke. And the notice says that they are approved my case by error. Right?
Sounds like they did. So you said USCIS approved it a month after you filed it?
No, after a month, um, after a month uh, of the request for evidence for
Okay,
my
okay,
brother.
okay.
Uh, then my lawyer responded to my brother request for evidence, and actually my brother case now is approved, and my lawyer responded to the re- uh, notice of intent to revoke, and the USCIS now is being actively reviewing my case for actually 50 days, 50 days, and I haven't received any decision on my case. Um, I'm anxious and I'm worried. Should I sue the USCIS because they have approved my case by error? Then they have the intent to revoke it, or should I wait? Should I expedite? What should I do, Jim?
What's the receipt date on the I-130?
The 1st of January 2022.
So it's a year and a half old,
Yes.
almost 2 years, and it's back at USCIS.
Yes.
What did they ask for in your brother's request for evidence?
Bona fide evidence for both of me and my brother.
Who's older, you or your brother?
Me,
What?
under 18, and my brother is also under 18.
Why did USCIS worry about the level of evidence you submitted about you and your dad? Is there not a lot of
Because
evidence between you and your dad?
because my dad just submitted the his passport. He's a U.S. citizen, so he submitted his passport and submitted my passport and my birth certificate.
And nothing else.
Yes, so they wanted more evidence.
Your dad's on both birth certificates?
Yes,
And um, um, was your dad living in Egypt when you were born?
yes.
So how much of your life did you and your dad live in the same house?
Probably 8 years. Um, and actually, he is coming here for vacations, not just the 8 years.
Right. But so what happened when you turned 8? He went and lived in America. What happened?
What?
So when you turned 8 or so, when you were about 8, he went to America.
Yes, and
And what did he
go
marry a
back.
U.S. Did he marry a U.S. citizen?
Yes,
Okay. And then he got his green card, and then he got his citizenship.
yes.
Okay. So what's your question for me?
Should I sue the USCIS because they have approved my case, then say that they have approved it by error, or should I wait because it have been 50 days and they are already actively reviewing my case without any decision? What should I do?
So the State Department told you that they sent it back to USCIS, but you haven't received an actual notice of intent to revoke from USCIS. Have you seen that document or no?
No, I received it. Yes.
Okay. And what did it say besides that they decided an error? What did they say beyond that?
They said they want a bona fide evidence. Actually,
Okay,
it's
so
just
basically, what probably happened is they were looking at your case and your brother's case. They hit the RFE button for your brother's case, and they hit approve for your case. Your case gets sent to the National Visa Center. Then they send it back saying this was approved in error, and then they give you a notice of intent to revoke. And did you respond? Oh, that's the 50 days. You filed your response to the notice of intent to revoke 50 days ago.
not 50 days ago. Actually, they are 80. After 30 days, the USCIS said that they are actively reviewing my case.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so you want to sue them to get the case back to the National Visa Center so that you're sort of on track with
I
your brother.
I don't know. I'm just asking you. Should I sue them or just should I wait since I am under 18 and my dad is a U.S. citizen? So the lawyer So the know your response or decision is gonna be fast, or should I?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you're caught in this sort of area between the NVC and USCIS. A lawsuit will get your case back to NVC. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is your mother still alive
Yes.
and your parents are divorced?
Yes.
When your dad got his visit visa to come to the United States, they were still married back before he got his green card?
Yes.
And does he see your mother at all?
What?
Does he see your mother at all?
No.
When your dad applied for citizenship and applied for his green card, did he list you and your brother as his children?
Absolutely.
Did your dad what country is your dad from?
Egypt.
Did your dad get divorced in America or in Egypt?
Egypt.
And your brother's case has been approved and it's at the National Visa Center.
Yes, it's at the Department of State for 50 days now.
So he survived the request for evidence
Yes.
and his case got approved. Yeah, I think you should sue him. I think if you sue him, you'll get back on track. I would sue them. Yep. I think they're confused.
Or should I just wait because I'm under 18 and as I said, my dad is the U.S. citizen, so it's gonna be fast.
Well, Habibi, I don't know if it's gonna be fast or not. It hasn't been fast so far. It's been 20 months.
What about an expedited process?
That's a waste of time.
Then I'm not gonna be a U.S. citizen, right? When I enter the U.S. because I'm gonna turn 18 in the next month.
Yeah, you probably neither of you probably. I mean, I'm sorry. Are you older or younger than your brother?
I'm older.
Yeah. You won't be a citizen, but that's okay. You just need to get here. You're just trying to get here.
Yes. Can I ask one more question, please?
Yeah, sure.
After how many years could I apply for citizenship?
5.
On my category, I should wait 5 years?
5, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Okay, bye, Ahmed. See you, buddy. All right. Noah is here. Hello, Noah.
This is Nash, Jim.
Sorry, my eyes are bad and the monitor is far away. How you doing, Nash?
Good. How are you today?
Good. I'll try to pay better attention to people's names. I'm good. How you doing? What can I help with?
All right. So 2 questions. December of last year, I got approved for asylum, of course, with the help of your office. Thank you very much. I waited 6 years with the lawsuit that we filed for them. They responded within 45 days, so that's absolutely effective.
Great.
So after we got approved, my wife and I traveled to Egypt. We had an advanced parole. We stayed there for a month. And as I understand, in order for me to do the adjustment of status and apply for a green card, I have to be physically 1 year in the U.S. So do I exclude the time that I was in Egypt from the 1 year?
Is that your total in the United States? No, you have the 6 years.
What do you mean?
You've lived in the United States for a long time, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So I came here back in 2015.
They changed the rule on the counting of time. Have you looked at that new rule?
No, I did not.
Because the new rule, I think, lets you count time even before you had the asylum grant towards the 1 year, I think.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you email me, I'll look at your stuff and I'll let you know either way. But I think you probably have enough time and that you can go ahead and apply. But obviously, we don't want to waste your money. So just shoot me an email and remind me, and I'll look at your dates from the file and we'll go from there.
Wonderful. So the second question I have, Jim.
Yeah.
With the fact that we went to my wife's country, she's not from my country. She has no concern going back home, but she's a dependent in my asylum case. With the fact that we went to her country might impact our green card application.
So I have a spouse. I have an asylum seeker and their spouse.
Yes.
The asylum seeker is from country A and the spouse is from country B.
Correct.
The whole case was about country A doing bad things to the petitioner.
For me, yes, correct.
And you're worried about the trip to B.
Yes.
No worry about trip to B.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much. So you're saying that maybe I should have applied for the green card right after I got approved. So I didn't really have to wait. Maybe.
Narrator's voice. Jim hasn't really reviewed the rule as much as he should, but he will by the time that you email him.
All right, I will email you. Thank you very much.
Generally, I think that's the deal.
Okay, appreciate it. We'll send you an email.
All right, bye, Nash. See you, buddy. All right. Yura's here. Hello, Yura.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Real quick, and I think you remember me and my husband Prince and everything that we shared with you. We've probably spoken to you like 10 times. Well, I wanted to give you an update. We finally heard back regarding the FOIA request that you instructed us to do.
Yura, I think you're in contact with my office, and I think my intake team talked to you today. I don't want to talk about it since you've actually reached out to us for advice, so I can't really talk about it on the show anymore. I asked the intake person to email you after talking to them through with what you received on the FOIA response. So if you haven't gotten that email, you'll get it soon, but that sort of has my thoughts on what you need to do next.
Okay, great. Then as long as you're now involved or then I'm okay with that.
Yep. I put my thoughts, I helped share my thoughts in that email.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Bye, Yura. See ya. All right. Problem is here. What do you say, Problem?
Hi, Jim. I have
How
a
you
quick
doing?
question for you. I'm good, thanks. So my issue is I've been married like 3 times. This is my 4th time getting married. The first 2 married, we didn't file for any immigration benefit. The 3rd time we did, and obviously we didn't use a lawyer at the time, and they sent for an request for more evidence, in which we didn't understand much about the paperwork, so we get a notice of intent for deny. But now I am married. This is my 4th time now getting married. So I don't know what I should do from there.
Okay. So just to be clear, you're not the U.S. citizen. You're the person seeking a green card.
Right. My husband is the U.S. citizen.
And so the first 2 people that you married, did they live in America or did they live somewhere else?
They're all in America. They're all a U.S. citizen.
And you came to the United States when?
I came to the United States on a H-2B visa. My last entry is 2007.
Okay.
2007, 2008.
Okay, so 2007, you marry. We're gonna do A, B, C, and D. So first, you marry Alan, A, and you and Alan never files an application for you, right?
Right, we didn't file.
Then you marry Bob, B, Bob. Bob never files for a benefit for
That's
you.
actually my husband now, named Bob.
Okay, so we'll call him Bill. So Bill, you marry Bill. Bill never files for you, right?
Right.
So then C, we have Charlie. So Charlie files an I-130 for you. You sort of do it without a lawyer. You don't submit a bunch of evidence. You get a notice of intent to deny, and then you just never respond to that request, right?
Right.
And then you divorce Charlie and marry Bill.
Right.
And then Bill files, you and Bill together file a nice, strong I-130. That's on file, the I-130 and the 45 with Bill?
We haven't filed as yet. I'm just calling you to get some information.
Got
and
it. Okay. So let me talk about a couple of things. Number one, it kills me. It kills me when people don't respond to a notice of intent to deny and just sort of let the agency figure out what happens, and they don't really keep the record clean. Because if you file a new I-130, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to look at the old one and they're going to say, well, whatever happened to that guy? Or whatever happened to that case? So I think that your situation, I mean, you're going to be sort of high on the fraud list, right? So you have a couple factors. One, long entry overstayed, right? You entered the last time 16 years ago. We have marriages to A, B, and C. And I think that this whole case is going to be about proving that this current marriage is legit, but also that at least the marriage to Charlie was legit. You're going to have to prove that whole thing up, and that it wasn't just for an immigration benefit. So you should not file this case without a lawyer. You need a ton of work to get this case ready, because you're going to have to prove at least 2 marriages, maybe 4, but at least 2. And the whole shooting match is probably going to be about Charlie and what Charlie says as far as whether you married him to get a green card or whether you married because you were in love.
Right.
So the marriage to bill, that's sort of the easy part. Right now, you have to prove that an old marriage that didn't last, that hadn't. I mean, you need to get your whole file from immigration. You need to prove up that marriage, and you probably need more evidence about marriage number 3 than you do about marriage number 4.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, this is something we could help with, but it's going to be extra work. It's more than usual because of the, they're always suspicious of 4 marriages. They're always suspicious of people who stayed a long time without authorization. How long have you and Bill known each other?
Bill would be the number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
So we knowing each other like over like 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was your divorce final to number 3?
In 2017.
Okay, good. So a winnable case, but a tough case. A lot of work, approvable, but you gotta know everything going in. It's going to be a tough fight.
Right. So if let's say we should give you the case, like what how much would it be?
Well, our usual fee for a regular old case is $5,700, so it would be more than that because we have to prove up the other case. So there'd be extra work involved. So I don't know, probably around $7,500 just in legal fees because there's a lot of extra work that needs to get done.
Okay. And your is at info@.
hackingimmigrationlaw.com. It's right there on the screen. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you, James.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
That's a tough one. Winnable, but tough. I've seen that movie before, and like I said, the whole shooting match becomes the prior marriages and the prior stuff. Not so much. They'll say, I think I have a video on this. Oh yeah, we believe this current marriage, but what about all that other stuff that happened before? So that's what we need to be thinking about. All right. Ladies here. Hello, lady. You're on mute. Oh, I still can't hear you. Might be that headset. Maybe hit mute one more time.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I got you. Yep. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
So I have a question. My brother is a U.S. citizen, and he would like to file for the I-130 for my parents that are back home. But currently they have a tourist visa, but they haven't used it to come in the U.S. So my question is, if he filed for them, is he going to cancel that visa?
Not necessarily. If he files for them, they might get trouble when they try to come through customs again, but probably not. So, if they're thinking about taking a visit soon, I might have them come first and then file the I-130 after they leave.
Yeah.
Or if they're not going to come anytime soon, I would just go ahead and file, and then when they come, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Especially, lady, if they've come before and left on time, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. It was just that small question. So it's better that they don't come when it's already submitted, right?
No, I know. I think it'd be fine. Here's what I would say. If they get some jerk customs official, he might give them a hard time, but I think the chances of that are like 1%. So if what you're saying is mom and dad have a visit visa that they haven't used, it's not ready to expire, and brother wants to file an I-130 petition for them. Their visa is good for a couple more years. We don't know when they're going to come. I would go ahead and have your brother file it, and then see what happens if and when they want to come visit.
Okay.
But I think they'll get. If you are asking me, they don't have the visit visa yet, and my brother wants to apply for them, do I think you'll get it from the embassy? No, I don't. But they already have it. So, they're just going to go through customs. They're going to say, yeah, I'm coming to see my son. They might ask them if somebody ever filed for them, but probably not. So I think it's fine.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day. All right. APA is here.
Yeah, I'm fine. Please, can you get me off of camera?
There you go. You are off camera.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jim. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I have a couple of questions, please. I would like to ask.
okay.
Yeah, I am 3 to 4 months here now in the United States. I entered with the B1, B2 visa, and meanwhile, I ran away from my country ever since 2017 to another country where I got my visa to be here. So as I got my visa, I actually went back to my country to see if the issues were okay, and I discovered that there was still a very big situation. So I had to leave and come here. So now that I'm here, I've not yet applied, and uh, I have prepared my case. But following the fact that it has spent so much time, I don't know how to get all the evidence at hand. So I wanted to know exactly what I can do, like as of now, because the evidence are not with me.
Well, what evidence is there that you wish you had?
Like when I was arrested, like when I was tortured,
Uh-huh.
like when they arrested my wife in my absence.
Uh-huh.
So those are the evidence I needed, but I don't have them.
Are there police reports of that?
No, no police report.
So there's not really evidence that you could get of it. I mean, like, unless there's some secret videotapes or something, there's no real evidence. I mean, most asylum cases, a lot of asylum cases are proven with the testimony of you, the testimony of your wife. It has to be very detailed. It has to be, very clear. And like, you have to have dates and explain what happened and explain why it happened. So most people who experience torture or being in jail don't have the records when they apply for asylum. Not to say you shouldn't try to get them if they exist or if you could get them, but USCIS handles asylum cases all the time where it's based primarily on the asylum seeker's testimony and their spouse or family members or other people who know. You can also get experts on country conditions to say, yeah, I know all about APA's country of origin and I'm an expert on their country. And he says that he experienced torture and jail because of X, Y, and Z. I'm an expert on X, Y, and Z back in that country, and I can testify that based on my review of his statement and his wife's statement and his brother's statement, that this kind of shit he's talking about in his statement is all true, and this kind of stuff happens all the time back in that home country. And then there's other evidence that you get that supports news stories or things like that that show that whatever it is that's causing you to fear to go back home, that other people are experiencing that and that the government won't protect you from that.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question is this. My wife, when she was arrested, I was even here already. I think it's about 2 months ago when she got arrested. And the neighbors were there. And now one of the attorney which I contacted told me I need affidavits from my wife, my neighbor, and my brother who went and pay ransom for my wife to be released. So I want to know from you whether is that really necessary?
Yeah, is your wife still in jail?
She got released.
And so yes, all that stuff's necessary. Do you want to win your case?
Yeah, I really want to win my case.
Then you need all that. I mean, if you're talking to lawyers, and you should be talking to lawyers because this sounds like a complicated case and one where you're going to need lawyers' help. Yeah, if your lawyer's saying you need this, they need the statements. They're not saying it to make your life difficult. They're saying it to try to get your case won.
I see. Well, okay. Thank you so much, Tajin.
All right, have a good day.
I'll actually come back to you when there are some other questions. Thank you.
Okay, bye. See ya. All right, Jim Brown's here. What do you say, Jim Brown?
Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Great. What's up?
Yeah, I'm calling about my stepkids case. They they got approved, with the I-130 with the NBC. They had an interview at the embassy today in Dakar, Senegal, actually, and everything went fine except they requested the original marriage certificate between my wife and I. Now they have a printout of all of that, and like the USCIS and NBC, they all accepted everything. It was just this particular interviewer. She insisted that they have the original marriage certificate, license, which actually I have here in the U.S. because I brought it back with me because I wanted to, register my marriage, in the state of Illinois. And, so it's been with me since 2021. And, what I did as far as, providing them with, the marriage certificate, through USCIS, NBC and everything, I scanned it and, PDF'd it and sent them, copies of it. And it was fine for those agencies, but with this particular, interviewer, she's insisting that I send, the actual marriage certificate.
How long ago did she ask?
Today. The interview happened today.
Okay, so get it over there.
Yeah. So what I did was there's I just wanted to verify whether or not they need the actual, original, marriage certificate.
My brother Jim, from one Jim to another, they can ask for whatever they want as long as it's as long as it's within the realm of reason. They can ask for it. Sure thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what I ended up doing was I went ahead. I have we have like a family member that lives in New York, and they're happen to be traveling to Senegal on Sunday. So I expedited, the marriage certificate to them to New York, and hopefully they'll get it there by Monday, because I think they gave us until like Wednesday, to do it. So hopefully
that's pretty fast, but that probably means they want to issue the visa. So that's good. I'm glad you're getting there that fast.
Okay. So that was a good thing that we did send it, to the relative in New York.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if the kids had it when they went to the interview, but
yeah, but like I said, I've had it here, and when my wife, she actually got approved, she's here, she's been here for about a year. She didn't have to, have the, actual, like marriage certificate. They didn't ask her for that.
All right, then. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, buddy.
Okay.
Keep me posted, okay?
Okay, I definitely will.
See you, bud.
Okay, bye.
Oh, all right, so listen, tomorrow at 1:00, I'm going to be talking to Raul. Raul was our caller of the, or I guess what do you call him? Our fan of the month. Raul filled out the survey, and he got selected, so he gets to talk to me for a half hour tomorrow from 1 to 1:30 Central, which is right after tomorrow's show. But if you want to be able to talk to me for a half hour for free, maybe you should fill out our survey and tell us how we can make the show better. So tomorrow from 12 to 1, I'll be live. And then after that, I'm going to talk to my man Raul and see what he has to say. So I hope you all have a great night. It was fun being here. I've missed you. I haven't done a show since Saturday. And I feel like I'm going to go on a little streak here and do some shows for a while, because softball is coming up, but there's also some breaks. So tomorrow, we'll do tomorrow's show at noon Central. If you have 60 seconds, and could leave us a quick 5-star review on the Google or go to reviewhackinglaw.com, we would appreciate it. It helps other people find out about us. Otherwise, if you're thinking about hiring us, like some of the fine folks that were on the show today, feel free to call us at 314-961-8200 or email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. That's for people who want to hire us. If you're just looking for free resources, we have the Immigrant Home Facebook group. We have our hundreds of YouTube videos, and we have this show. And speaking of the show, if you want to get in the waiting room first, today when I got in, 8 of the 10 spots were filled because people were smart enough to text the word show to 314-470-3300. I hope you all have a great night. I thank you all for joining us. It was fun. It's been a while. And I will see you tomorrow at noon. Thanks, everybody.